Anelise Borges joins us now live from Havana with more. Anelise, just walk us through some of the highlights of today's visit.
Well, the highlight of the day certainly was that joint press conference between U.S. President Barack Obama and Cuban President Raul Castro. A high-spirited Raul Castro who played down some questions about sensitive topics here in Cuba. When asked if the country had political prisoners, Raul Castro asked the reporter who the question was for. And both Barack Obama and Raul Castro have recognized that a lot has been achieved since that announcement of the restoration of the ties between the two countries back in December 2014. But both leaders also know that much more work needs to be done.
An historic handshake and smiles all around as Barack Obama and Raul Castro met in Havana on Monday. The gestures and words designed to demonstrate how far their two countries have come since the announcement of a rapprochement in late 2014.
I've said consistently, after more than 5 very difficult decades, the relationship between our governments will not be transformed overnight. We continue, as President Castro indicated, to have some very serious differences, including on democracy and human rights.
Differences that both leaders say they're looking to resolve. Right at the top of that list, the U.S. trade embargo on Cuba.
Much more could be done if the U.S. blockade was lifted. We recognize the position of President Obama and his administration against the blockade and his repeated appeals to Congress to have it removed.
Earlier on Monday, Obama laid a wreath at the Jose Marti Memorial, paying homage to a national hero while standing at the site of one of the most symbolic squares in communist Cuba. Most Cubans didn't get a chance to get close to the U.S. president this Monday, so they had to resort to bars and cafes like this one for a glimpse of the events on TV. Jose Garcia stared at the faulty image on the television and could hardly believe his eyes. An American president on Cuban soil. Garcia took up arms against U.S.-backed dissidents at the Bay of Pigs invasion of 1961. 55 years later, he is ready to move on.
It was going to happen. It lasted 50 years, but it was bound to end one day. And now if they lift the embargo, the country will be in much better shape.
There's still a long way to go before the bilateral relationship is fully rebuilt and before Cuba can get a clearer picture of where it is headed.
Now, Anelise, for full restoration of ties, the U.S. Congress has to lift the trade embargo. Obama would like to see that happen, and in a way, he's laying the groundwork by promoting the U.S.-Cuba business relationship on this visit.
Absolutely. Barack Obama is not waiting for the U.S. Congress. He has been using executive orders to ease travel and trade restrictions. A number of very important deals, business deals, have been struck. And Google has just officially begun the first American company to display a sign on a building here in Havana. Google will be operating in partnership with a local artist, providing internet access for Cubans here in the capital. And Airbnb has been operating in Cuba. AT&T is expected to sign a deal as well. And Barack Obama insists that the restoration of ties involving creating greater opportunities so that Cubans and Americans can work together. Well, Barack Obama has just met with a number of Cuban cuentapropistas, Cuban entrepreneurs. He listened to their stories, he shared his own experiences and gave them advice. And once again, the U.S. president insisted that the idea for the restoration of ties is to facilitate greater economic activity here on the island, and that he hopes that will help improve the lives of Cubans.
Okay, Anelise Borges joining us live there from Cuba. Thanks so much.